Greetings and welcome everyone joining us today on Talks on Tuesdays with me, Julie, Barbara, Mary, and Chelsea, where we spend a half an hour chatting and sharing among friends about various metaphysical, spiritual, and supernatural sometimes topics every week. And by the way, at the end of the segment, don't forget to leave any comments or questions you may have. And we also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, so now that all that's out of the way, today's topic was brought on by questions that infiltrated my mind uncomfortably, I might add. And because they demanded answers from me. The topic is am I aware of the fears I carry, and how do I recognize and resolve them in a more thoughtful and gentle way? Okay, I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but for me, I think our deepest fears are a very personal matter, and usually matters we don't want to discuss, at least I don't. But they can limit our life. They can limit our life process or progress and our creativity and compassion and good health and so much more. And for me, just to encapsulate, I feel like my relationship with the reconnective healing frequencies and reconnection has really helped me flush out, you might say, some of these fears and be able to let them dissolve a little bit, maybe, or be able to look at them and say, okay, and sort of let them go in a sense. I'm not saying always. And I also wanted to add that I think that there's different kinds of fears. There's the fears that are kind of what's the word? Here. And then there's fears that are here, deeper, more profound fears that sometimes we're not even aware of. So I'd invite everyone to share any thoughts you may have or experiences on this. I'm done.
I want to bring up the word tension because I feel like sometimes tension in the physical body, we don't really even know it's there until we feel what it's like when it's gone. And
True.
I experienced that over like the last week where I finally let the tension go out of my body. So that was probably some little fear. I don't even know what I would call it, but it probably originated somewhere in that type of, but it was tension in my body, which is physical, something to carry around, but I kind of didn't really know it was there, but now it's not, and I feel much lighter.
Mm-hmm. And there are times when you're absolutely aware of the tension, but you're not sure what it's from. And I sometimes find myself asking, why am I so tense? What am I afraid of? And I have to kind of think through it. And then I realize, like my brother's coming and I'm afraid we're going to talk politics. Things like that. And as you say, there are orders like high fear, and there's medium fear and low fear. That most human of fears, like I'm going to die. It seems to be a worldwide fear, and loss of power is another fear, or embarrassment. But yeah, I guess none of them
A
not
fear, nobody, you want people to like you, you're afraid they're not going to like
Yeah.
you, fears like that. And then there's like instinctive fears, which really for me aren't part of this conversation, because there's like when the fight or flight kind of thing, where you feel like you're in danger, and but truthfully you are, that kind of fear. That's a healthy fear, I think.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
there's fears that stem from the body and fear that stems from the heart sometimes,
Mm.
the ego. Sometimes, oh, I'm afraid I hurt their feelings. Um, or I'm afraid um I'm afraid I just didn't say that right. And
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's such a big thing. It's like this huge umbrella.
Yeah, and just the way it can, without us knowing it, really alter our life, or our everyday life, or
Yeah.
our
It blocks
thought
the joy.
process. Yeah.
It's joy. Yeah.
I think when we're invested in the outcome, that fear and anxiety is the fuel. And if we're always focused on a point forward ahead of us, we always have ill-conceived thoughts or notions in our mind about, and it's totally natural and human to do this, but we try and think it out how it's all going to unfold, and we get ourselves all, well, I do anyway. I get myself all revved up for no reason at all. And then oftentimes it never turns out the way I had imagined in my mind. And I'd wasted all that time, lying awake at 2 or 3 in the morning with my brain spinning on auto fast forward, and it wasn't necessary at all. So,
Yeah.
one of my favorite expressions that I share very freely with anyone who will listen is, well, you can worry if you want, because someone once said that to me. And I thought, wow, that's really brilliant. I never considered that before.
Right.
I
Yeah.
remind myself,
Yeah, we always have that choice, don't we?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so true about expectations. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
welcome, Louis Therese. Glad you joined us.
hi.
Yeah.
Just
You're
briefly,
doing
I'll tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about carrying fears, carrying our fears, and how we can be aware of them and resolve them in a thoughtful and gentle way. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think Renee really kind of hit things on the head as far as
Yeah.
expectations and wanting certain outcomes. And I found for me, the more I let go of that,
Exactly.
then the less, and the less I have to worry about what's going to happen, because I know that it'll, whatever is going to happen, it'll be
It's
okay.
going to happen. And,
And
you use whatever you can. Like if you're into meditation and you meditate, you can meditate on that. If you're into reconnective healing, you can play with the frequencies, and that, that helps. That's what I guess I mean when I say in a thoughtful and gentle way, without going to get a book and reading the
Yeah.
steps to take, and that kind of thing.
well, I don't know. Every day I pick up this book that I got by Rupert Spira. I'm gonna plug it again today.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And I just have to read 1 or 2 sentences and find something that's so profound and so meaningful, and it really helps me remember to be like in the just right now. And when you're
right. And
right
so
now, then you don't have time or space for being fearful about anything, because you're here. And so that's what you focus on, and then the fears kind of like fall away, I think.
right. So
But I
you
was gonna
find
say-
your way, you find what works for you. What, Mary? Sorry.
Oh, just that if we're in the present, the past is
Mhm.
gone. The future may never happen. The future is so imaginary.
Yeah.
We
Right.
don't know. And all we can do is be in the moment. And I don't see my dog worrying, like, am I going to be fed tonight? Is she
Yeah.
going to remember to feed me? He He's in the moment.
And I think you hit the nail on the head right there is that's the way to do it. So then you have to find, how is it that I am present, or how can I be present?
Yeah.
You know,
To
and
me,
then-
it's kind of habit.
that's nice.
You know, just the more we are there and feeling that comfort and relief, the more we want to be there. And if, you know, I mean, like everybody, I'm not always there 100%, of
Right.
course, but
Right. Right.
but it's just easier to slip back into that space. I think
Mhm.
as I do more and more living with awareness, you know,
Right. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, this morning I was thinking about this topic and trying to figure out, okay, so what is it that I have fears around? And to me, it's you know, being vulnerable. I think that just just because of a lot of stuff from my past, that is to me the biggest fear I think that I carry, because a lot of stuff, other stuff doesn't bother me. Even if people don't like me, it's like, I don't care. You know, I mean,
Mhm,
they're just
mhm.
allowed to go do what they want and whatever. But that vulnerability is kind of my little vulnerable spot, I guess, you know.
I
So,
can relate.
It's funny. I've been a lot less fearful since I retired from teaching. Teaching is very much about control. You know, let's move this whole group forward at this point and make sure everybody gets this point. And, you know, I have to prepare for tomorrow. I have to look at what they did yesterday, and I need to wrangle it like the horse wrangler in a movie. You know, you've got to be in charge, and letting go of that. I think I would like to try teaching again without control.
Mm.
And then I might teach without fear of what could happen. They might not learn a semicolon and the world will come to an end.
I would love to build off of all of this. I love hanging out with this group. Um, Julie, you were mentioning the resolving of things in a gentle and thoughtful and kind way. And yeah, for the past couple weeks, like I brought up before, I'm not experiencing that. And I just keep thinking, wow, you know, I understand this is a difficult situation for me and this other person. But if I was going through this with this type of awareness on the other side, we'll say, it would be a nothing burger. And so I guess I just wanted to add a concept for me that really kicked in, and I learned this from, you know, the reconnective healing, which is, and it's not just reconnective healing, it's fairly universal. The idea that nothing is touching
Mhm.
and everything is touching, because of the discomfort in my body that I was feeling with this tension.
Mhm.
And I just went right to nothing. It's not touching me, and I don't have to touch it. Holy, it works. It's not resolving the situation. You know, there's the dissolving of a relationship that is happening, and it's happening because of the inability to be responsible for one's fears, you know, and the willingness to be nasty and mean and focus on minute things in the future that are never going to happen. It's been a very rich experience, because on the other hand, I've got, you know, people around me saying, oh my God, you're such a gem, and throwing money at me or whatever. You know, I love having you around. And then there's this as other stuff. So yeah, just I don't have to touch it. Don't touch it. This is not touching you. So yeah, it's super helpful concept that I don't know we really talk about that much, but
Well, we can talk about anything. So,
yeah,
I think that's beautiful. And
yeah.
holding on to that perspective, you know, I think you'll find that things actually start to dissolve around that whole tension that you know, because
yeah,
it can't stay tight when you have that attitude, that freedom. Yeah, it's
no.
beautiful. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Big sigh of relief, once it lets go, like Chelsea mentioned. I'm feeling that.
Release. Yeah.
I was like, though, when you have the two words, what if blank, what if blank? Well, I like to sort of shift that a little bit and I say, so what? If dot, 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 then dot, dot, dot. So it sort of takes the emphasis off the, like, what if? So what? So what?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
something
the
different, might
answer.
be something different than what you're expecting, but so what? You'll get something different.
Yes. And
Reframing, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
and also the concept of just receive, benefit, improve. And just the cycle of that: receive, benefit, improve, receive, benefit, improve. The waste, we'll call it, goes where it's needed. And yeah, that's been helpful too. And I don't
Louise,
know where that, but
Louise Triss, did you have something to share?
Yes, yes, I do have quite a few things that I can share today with you people about fear. I'm going to share it because it is very important and it is currently going on, and it is the police are also protecting me because I live in a third world, and they had imagined that I have great powers and I am sold for medicine. And they come and talk to me and told me at all time I must be calm and controlled. And if I don't, that is the time when they will take me, because then I am good for them, because fear is what is good for them when they sell you, and things like that. So, but I have found the best is the more I am active with the reconnection, it gives a vibration that is really high, and it is it pushed away all negativity and also bad things away from you. And then it is, as you live close to your heart and you are close to your God and you are calm and content, and you clearly are aware of your situation. And as I say, even if you may not show that you are in any way at any fear, you must be totally calm. And with that, you started to learn to get that calmness. So, yeah, fear is a daily part of me, but I have learned to manage it and to control it and to say it is good, because it makes you more aware and it makes you more appreciative of each and every moment that you do have, and you are more careful about what you say and what you do, because that is that definite constant idea, may I be here tomorrow. So yeah, that is what I would like to say. Fear, you must learn to manage it. There is different ways you can breathe, and but the best is if you go into your heart space and you are calm and collect and you are fearless. Eventually you get fearless.
Thank you
Wow.
so much, Louise. That was really wonderful. Yeah. Wow. That's
So
quite a
I have a
story.
question about that. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like, so it sounds to me like you're describing living constantly or almost constantly living in the
Every
now.
moment,
Wow.
every moment. I really wanted to say, I personally feel that with a reconnection, I'm constantly busy with it. is it really brings you up onto such a high energy vibration level, but it really push them away. But by it is as if I can actually say after a while it is as if they started to become how can I say, as they are getting a reconnection interaction because they come so many times in my house. And when they started falling away, maybe the next one they sent is coming.
Do you think
That
that they're
is,
coming because they want to feel that energy, that wonderful
I hope so.
vibration?
I hope so. I hope so because I really worked on it, but I can. This mecca of my corner here is absolutely brilliantly beautiful with the vibration. You know, I have the trees here at my pond. I can show you photos. 5 years ago, they were dead trees. They were standing in the water. And I started giving them energy. And everybody is coming to look at it because it's trees that is pine trees. They can't handle wetness. And they are covered in leaves and they are absolutely gorgeous. And they are about 3 feet in the water away from the edge. So yeah, I try to have a high vibration because I believe it keeps things away from you.
Mhm.
Wow.
But what I've been noticing myself is that same vibration is very annoying when people encounter it and then they're invited to look at themselves and then the brakes go
It's
on
life
and
changing.
explosions happen.
Yeah, it's life changing for them.
And
You
they
If
know,
don't
they're
I
willing to
realize it.
step into it, that's the
I
key.
would like to
There isn't the
share
willingness.
something.
Yeah.
The other
Invitation, they don't
day,
have the
I
willingness.
went for my eye operation and I was washing my hair and it was all loose and my eyes, apparently I became a bleeder without knowing that, and my eyes were all blood and things like that, and I was driving and here this accident, so I stopped because I feel the energy, and so I go to the guy and I'm standing there and I bend down and I help him. Next moment when I looked like that, I saw a policeman was standing there because the shoes and the pants, but I am busy working with this person. And then I felt it took an extremely strong amount of energy. And the next moment, I saw this police guy jumping with little jumps backwards. And but it doesn't bother me. And the next moment, I heard a holster being opened. I scared the daylight out of that guy because as I looked up, he was pulling his hand like that with a holster. And here I was standing on my knees. The wind was blowing. My hair was like that. And here I look up at him with blood eyes.
That's a great experience. We're almost out of time. I think we've got a minute left, so if anyone wants to say anything, share for a minute.
I do.
Yeah.
Next week is my week, and I'm asking everybody to bring some sort of item that they have a close connection to, emotional, spiritual, a memory thing, maybe something, a gift that you've been given, something that you have an emotional or spiritual attachment to. And it should probably not be enormous, just a little thing.
Oh, thanks, Mary. And we're not doing the music today, you guys. We're going to take a break
Yeah.
for this week,
Yeah.
but thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
It went really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you all. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next week.
Equal.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for being here.